Hello, everybody. This is Joshua Hayes coming to you with the January 8th stock market wrap up for you to use for the January 9th session. Sorry, this is another late edition. I had a meeting with a potential investor on the other side of the island, and then we had the national championship game, and that's why we're coming pretty late with this. However, another reason why we're coming in late is because not much is changing. If there were some major, massive changes in the stock market, I would definitely be doing everything I could to get this up as soon as possible. But right now, we're really not doing anything. And one of the ways I want to prove that is by looking at the S&P 500 from, I'm just going to pick right here in October. I'm just randomly going to pick that. Excellent. And from, as you can see here, October 9th to January 8th, the stock market has moved a whole negative 0.02% on the S&P 500. So that is telling you that for 3 months, the market has moved nowhere. It's lateral. But however, since my sub-intermediate trend starts in the November lows for me, I have been saying it's been in an uptrend for the sub-intermediate time frame. And right now in the short-term time frame, it's still up a little bit. However, it's not up that much. But short-term, we're still up. Sub-intermediate term, we're still up. And when I mean up, I mean barely up. Up to lateral, I guess, is a better way to come across and approach this. And then for the intermediate term, going back to June, definitely down. And then, of course, like I keep showing you, long-term, from the beginning of 2008, definitely down. So we know that we're still in an overall downtrend. And look at the volume on the S&P 500. Since quadruple witching Friday, volume has been lower every day. And actually, if we rule out that quadruple witching Friday, since 12/8, there hasn't been a single day with above average volume on the S&P 500. And I'll be honest with you, it's very odd for me to see January start out exactly this slow for this deep in. Usually by now we would have seen a major volume surge. So it's kind of odd. Now let's go on to the S&P, past the S&P 500. That was actually up 0.34 today. What I did like today, we kind of got to get in real close here to look. Let me go ahead and actually expand this then to look it up. S&P 500, as you can see, closed near the top of the day. It went down pretty far intraday, and at one point intraday looked like the selling from the day before was going to continue, and we were going to be down around 4% in 2 days. Sorry, everybody, I am kicking a cold, but I still have the sniffles, so I do apologize for these very rude noises. Anyway, so we do have a nice tail, which once again is a bullish tail. It shows that it's trying to hammer out a low here, like it did here. Hammer, hammer. Let me give you the dates, actually. Hammer in 12/12, 12/15, 12/22, 12/29, and then here on 1/8. So those are the very nice patterns, very nice closes for the S&P 500, up 0.34% today. Just nice to see it find support right around the 50-day moving average. Hopefully it can find support here, go a little bit higher. That'll help our new recent longs. And our shorts that are already up a lot, we've taken most of those off the table. The rest that we're holding, praying that we can maybe reshort them in the 200-day moving average. So I don't care if my shorts that have already shown me a big, huge gains that are now going back towards the 200, keep doing it, because that'll probably be where I can reshort some of these. But we'll see what it looks like whenever we get there. The Dow Jones Industrial Average today, as you can see, had a little bit of a weaker day. Closed down slightly today, but still well off the lows. Looks like it's hammering out a low, around the 50-day moving average. Hopefully it can hold it. The NASDAQ was the most interesting for me today. As you can see, opened pretty low beyond the lows after yesterday's 3% loss. Was down almost 4% at one point intraday a little bit, and then it reversed all the way back and actually close at the high of day, 1617.01. It's a high day close, and I always love to see those. So once again, we have another open body. Lots of open bodies and tails. Bullish hammer pattern, tails everywhere. The Russell 2000, same thing. Look at the close, 502.01, 502.01 high of day. Very beautiful. Trying to hammer out a low. S&P 600, similar, close to a high day close, 266.50, 266.79 was a high day. Still looks positive, and it helps some of our recent longs today. But overall, as you can clearly see from the 2008 levels, doesn't take a genius to see that you're still down 32%. And I know somebody personally that's down 50% still. And as you can see here, from that to the low, 47%. From the October high to the low on the SP 600, what is that? 52%. Yikes, man. Ugly market in a short amount of time. A nice little rally here recently. So that's how the market is. Basically, it's going nowhere. Even the S&P 600. Let's pick this date in October. Go here. From 10.9 to 1.8, 3 months, negative 1.81%. Not much is happening. That's why the new longs and the new shorts have been small. Hasn't really been any need to go really long anything, because anything that looks perfect, it looks like it's about ready to break out with a perfect chart pattern, stops looking perfect and only looks really good to near perfect, which is never good enough to load up on. You need perfect chart patterns. We really don't have those just yet. Let's look at oil. Oil, as you can see, right around the 40 area. I think this is probably a safe range for oil, 40 to 50 for maybe a while. Let's see what platinum did today, up 1.23%. Continues to do well. Excuse me, everybody. Continues to do very well as it moves up. And then after it got above the 50-day moving average. Sorry, left that part out. And silver holding in there with a 1.37% gain today. As you can see, tons of, look at all of these tails. Going back to October, tails everywhere. Hammering out a low in almost every single intraday session. Tons of open bodies also. This is just, to me, looking at a weekly here, has just got to be bullish. I just have to, I'm not sure, but it just seems to me that silver's going to move higher from here just because, I mean, even on the way down, look at all the tails it had intraday. So it's like it was being accumulated intraday, even though that somebody was selling a lot of it. It's almost like there was somebody else in there buying it every day, even though as it went lower, thinking it was a bargain, and now it's starting to march back up. We'll see if it ends up flying. However, man, I got some silver stocks that look great. And on top of those silver stocks, I got some gold stocks that look great. Gold, similar situation as it moved down. Lots of tails, as you can see in August. Tons of tails in September. All these open bodies. Look at this big up day in September. I mean, that 10% up day. Even a tail here after those two big sell-offs. Tails in October. Tails in November. Huge 7% up day in November. Tons of tails. Tons. It just looks very, very, very bullish to me, even though it's kind of going to no man's land. Let's just go right here in August and just pick this date in August randomly. Let's go back one day. There we go. So from 8.8 to 1.8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, gold has gone nowhere. It's up 0.2% in 5 months. So that's why I like to try to find stocks that are moving, because it doesn't pay to focus on commodities, treasuries, bonds, or just one certain kind of stock here or there. You got to look at everything to see what's moving. 5 months, gold's moved nowhere, but during that time, you might have been long ANCI from its breakout here in June. And if you did that, I mean, just from the, let's just use, yeah, that right there. Intraday, the next day, you got at least 100% gain in that. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4.5 months. So not bad. Let's see. I think there's only one more thing I want to show you. Just want to make sure I have time, and I do. And that is the United States dollar. United States dollar down today, but once again, look at all these open bodies on this uptrend. Right here, look at all these open bodies, candlestick pattern, price bars. Look at all the tails, hammering out a daily bottom every day, intraday. Even on the downtrend, tail, hammering out a low here near the 200-day moving average. More open bodies, more tails. Another tail today, even though it's down 0.83%. Just seems to me like it's being accumulated. It seems like silver, platinum, gold, the dollar are all being accumulated. You know, I just don't. I don't know. I could be wrong. They could all sell off. They could all do bad. But right now they look good, and that's just the point. I mean, when they look bad, that's when we get out. While they look good, that's why you stay long. We've got another new long tonight. It's a beauty. We'll go over that one in part 2 and go over some other stocks. And if we run out of time, we'll go to part 3. This is Joshua Hayes of BigWaveTrading.com. Have a great Friday, and the weekend market wrap-up will be up much earlier tomorrow. Aloha.